Well, hello, Florida Southern Moccasins. It's Professor Gandalf Dumbledore Marinelli here for week two, module two of our esports business models and trends. So we're going to dive into a very important section of esports, which is primarily stakeholders. And remember, this course is focusing on the business of esports, which is a nice way of saying, where's the money? Okay, where's the money in esports? So we're going to find out where the money is here. So let me share my screen with you. And we'll do this. And we'll do this. Bingo. Okay, so upon successful completion of this particular lesson, hopefully you will be able to delineate the various stakeholders that are involved in the esports industry, and there are many. You will understand the motivational differences between primary stakeholders and secondary stakeholders in esports. In other words, we're not all in this for the same, well, we're in this for the same reason, which is to make money, but our responsibility and how we make money is going to be different for each of us. You should have a firm understanding of the economics behind Twitch and YouTube streaming, and we'll talk about Facebook as well. Understand the concept of global, right? Global as it relates to esports, as well as understanding the differences between individual streamers and professional players, and also be able to understand team player composition as being dependent upon specific esports games. In other words, the dynamic of value co-creation, and also understand and discuss the evolution of esports coaching. Particular topics we're going to cover are the hardware providers for the esports industry. We tend to forget about the hardware providers, and yet the hardware providers are one of the reasons why we are able to say that esports is a bigger industry, or video gaming is a bigger industry than Hollywood and television combined. And we're going to specify that very shortly. We're going to look at the infrastructure that providers in the esports industry have and the various esports service providers. That word service is going to become very important to us. We'll touch upon the spectrum of regulation strategies for game developers, and also we're going to end on talking about community enablers, because community enablers is sort of the avocational dynamic of esports that is what's going to make esports a daily occurrence rather than just focusing on tournaments and what have you. Okay, so we really need to step back and ask ourselves, what are the roles and the responsibilities of esports stakeholders in the esports ecosystem? Again, recognizing that there is an esports ecosystem. And here you can take a look at this slide. These are all the stakeholders that are involved in esports. And ultimately, it comes down to there's an audience, right? And that audience is tailored to or approached by the professional teams, but the professional teams need the game developers in order to have something to play. These professional teams have professional players. They also need a forum, the tournament organizers. All of this is made possible by the community enablers, which we're going to be talking about, the hardware providers, which we're finally going to focus upon, the service providers, and this is going to be a concept called software as a service, SaaS, which is, it's going to end up sounding very, very simple, but making extraordinary amounts of money. And also infrastructure providers. Surrounding all of this, you've got governing bodies. For example, the same way that the NCAA is the governing body of college football and college sports, we have the National Association of Collegiate Esports. We've got sports organizations, athletic departments, as well as professional teams that are interested in esports. We've got the sponsors that want to get their name out in front of the audience. They want to get their name out in front of this audience. The general public, that could be mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, who are fascinated by the young people playing these games. We've got the investors involved. The investors are the ones that are like, hey, this is big business. We can make money on this. We can have an ROI, a return on investment. We've got the entrepreneurs that are saying, you know what, I think I can create something that brings all of these people together and I can become a general partner while they become a limited partner. We've got the media, which is promoting and distributing the enjoyment of these games. And then we've got the individual shareholders that own a piece of they own equity in the companies surrounding all of this. So there are many, many stakeholders here. But again, this is a business course, right? So you understand that. So you have to realize that esports now is so big that we have an annual, in fact, we have quarterly esports investment reports, which is telling us who's the latest to invest, who's the latest to be acquired through an M&A, merger and acquisition, and it's big business, okay? Now, this is a very important slide because when you take a look at it, you realize how international this is. These are various professional esports teams, okay? This is the prize money earned in US dollars. This is the tournaments entered. And clearly, you know, as we continue to talk and realize that these esports teams are giant corporations, that they're a corporation and that they have many different teams that are focused on very particular genres and very particular games in those genres. All right, they might be battle royale, but they're doing Apex, they're doing Fortnite, they're doing PUBG. Okay, so you have to have that many if you're able to enter 1,373 games. All right, the owner and notable personnel are Axiomatic. Where are they based? They're based in Holland. Okay, and where are they making most of their money? From Dota 2. And you can go down this list, and hopefully you're doing that to see, holy mackerel. Look, Evil Geniuses, that's an American company. Team OG, well, that's European. Again, making their money from Dota 2, which is very, very popular in China, right? We've got Newbie, which is Chinese, makes 98% of its money from Dota 2. Duh, right? China makes sense. You got Virtus Pro, which is Russia. They're having a hard time. All right. Fnatic, which is in London. Vici Gaming, which is in Shanghai, which is really starting to clean up. All right. LGD Gaming is in China. But then SK Telecom, which is morphed into T1 in South Korea, they're making most of their money from LOL, as well as other teams. You notice that US is primarily in the other teams, right? So you can see that esports has evolved into true corporate entities that are focused on a variety of games, even if most of the money is coming from one particular game. As a result of this, you've got a lot of celebrities and individuals with a lot of money who are investing in these teams. They are getting an equity stake in these teams, okay? Magic Johnson is co-owner of esports group Axiomatic, which we just saw, right, for Team Liquid, right? All right. Roger Saffold, co-owner of Call of Duty team in Rise of Nations. You've got Rick Fox, a owner of the esports team Echo Fox. And we've got these various baseball and basketball players who are owners of the League of Legends team NRG. So obviously they're getting into it because they enjoy esports. I mean, it's a heck of a lot of fun, but they also see the possibility of earning a significant return on their investment. And we're going to see if that's working or if that's not working, because esports, like every other industry, has got ebb and flows, right? Ebb and flows. Just like in video gaming, you know, in the late 1980s, we thought video games were dead, right? It was dead. It's never coming back. Well, it came back gangbusters. You're going to have this ebb and flow, just like in real estate. I mean, currently we're talking about a downside in real estate because interest rates have been rising. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's dive into some of the more business. So the video game publisher Activision Blizzard is owed between $390 million and $420 million in franchise payments from esports teams competing in the Overwatch League and the Call of Duty League, according to the Jacob Wolf report. Now, let's back up a step. If you've been following esports in any way, you know about the Overwatch League. All right, Activision Blizzard was the first one to establish a veritable league with city franchises playing a video game called Overwatch. And the initial purchase price of these franchises was $20 million. Okay. Now, that all sounds great, right? I want to buy this for $20 million. In some instances, that meant that I wrote a check for $20 million. In other instances, it said, I promise I'm going to pay you $20 million, but I may not be paying you right now. That's what this is referring to. So for these owners that have taken out a franchise in the Overwatch League, which we call OWL, or taken out a franchise in the Call of Duty League, they have not paid up yet. Okay, that's why Activision is owed almost $420 million in franchise payments. Why is this problematic? Because the leagues have had some difficulty in terms of viewership and generating income. So let's continue. OWL's 20 franchises reportedly owe the gaming giant roughly $6 million to $7.5 million each, equating to between 120 and 150 million in total. So what are we seeing here? Some of the owners have paid X amount up front, just like when you buy a house, right? You put a down payment on the house. The house is $1 million. You've got mom and dad, grandma, grandpa. You saved your nickels and dimes. You're able to put $150,000 down, and you've taken out a mortgage that says I'm going to pay the $850,000 I owe over time. That's what's going on here. Now, in the Call of Duty League, teams reportedly owe an average of $22.5 million each, having only made an initial payment of $2.5 million prior to the arrival of COVID-19. So in other words, Call of Duty League was established. It's like everything's going to be great. The world is fantastic. March of 2019, I still think was the high point of American society. I know it was Trump era, but hey, it was Trump era. Things were going great. And then the pandemic hit and bingo, everything fell apart. So a Call of Duty franchise slot cost approximately $25 million back then, according to ESPN. So think about it. A couple of years before the OWL League started, that was $20 million. Then Call of Duty League came out and they said, we can do $25 million. And then bingo, the pandemic hit and we've got problems paying on this. Now, annual payments for both leagues were deferred in 2020, right, the beginning of the pandemic, to the autumn of 2022 as part of COVID relief measures for teams. Now, the Jacob Wolf report adds that there are ongoing discussions over potentially pushing those payments back to early 2024. All right. Now, pushing them back to early 2024 is a way of saying, hoping, praying that viewership will be restored, that live events will once again occur, that interest will be regenerated so that revenue is generated. Okay? It's all fascinating. It's all fascinating. Now, what is this telling us? What this is telling us is that investors who were once eager to get in early on what was expected to be a booming industry are now scrutinizing the business fundamentals, and they're not much liking what they see, which is basically all the talk about, are we heading towards a recession? Interest rates are now really starting to crimp things. In 2018, good year, a record $4.5 billion was invested in the esports industry. Now, that's including from private equity firms that were jumping in for the first time. Now, this is according to Deloitte. Deloitte is a top-of-the-line consulting firm. But that bounty, that interest, that eagerness has faded. And venture capital investment in esports is now the lowest it's been since 2016, excluding 2020, when the pandemic restrictions threw into question the viability of live esports tournaments. Now, this is according to data provided by PitchBook. So we're in a lull here. We're in if this was oceanographic, it would be a doldrum, right? There's the doldrums in the oceans where like there's not much wind, there's not much waves and all that. We're in a doldrum right now because we're all waiting to see what is the post-pandemic world going to look like. And we're hoping that viewership's gonna rise. We're hoping that live in sports events are going to continue. And the whole dynamic of city-based franchises is going to be continue to have an allure to it. And one of the things we're going to see as we go on is that these city-based franchises are increasingly global. So it's not just like the American League and the National League with a couple of Canadian teams. It's like truly a global league for OWL and Call of Duty. Okay, let's drill down even more. The dissatisfaction that we've been talking about is reflected in the public markets. How so? FaZe Clan. If you're into esports, you know FaZe Clan. It's an organization of gaming celebrities and esports pros that helped to pioneer the influencer marketing industry. Now, they went public via SPAC in July and has seen its stock drop about 80% since then. That's a lot. As originally envisioned, esports organizations were supposed to generate revenue. How? By selling stadium tickets and merchandise, in other words, live events, or sharing profit with game publishers from large sponsorship and broadcast deals. Now, anticipating outsized success, traditional sports franchise executives paid $20 million to get in early on teams for the Overwatch League. Remember, we talked about this just recently, and even more later for the Call of Duty League teams. So when you talk about return on investment, well, where's this return going to be coming from? There was such interest, such dynamism from the live events, selling out the Staples Center, selling out the Chicago Theater, selling out the Barclays Center in Brooklyn for these events that, akin to traditional sports, there was the perception that we were going to make a ton of money, a boatload of money, selling tickets, concessions, beer, merchandise, and in addition to the money that we were making online and through tournaments that we would share with the publishers and with our stakeholders, that's where the money's coming from. The pandemic occurs, oy vey, things are not looking good, okay? Now, despite all of this, at this point, you're like, I'm going to drop this class because I thought esports was my way to make a boatload of money. Don't panic. Don't panic. Ebbs and flows are normal. Because again, when we take a look at game live streaming audience growth, what are we looking at? We're looking at, by 2025, from 2022, last year, we're looking at a 16.3% compound annual growth rate, from just under $1 billion to close to $1.4 billion. So, boasting almost 20 billion live gaming hours watched, Twitch remains the most popular live streaming platform in 2021, where it registered a 26% increase year over year. Okay. That translates to more than 15 million gaming channels, broadcast over 720 million live gaming hours on the Amazon-owned platform, marking a 20% increase over 2020. Because the one thing that the pandemic has showed us is the only viruses we need to be concerned about online are those that are going to infect our computer, right? You're not going to catch COVID by playing online. You're not. So because we have a sport that is very much a digital sport, our impact from the pandemic is going to be less than those suffered by traditional sports. Because remember, the forum for traditional sports are the arenas, the stadiums, the hockey rinks, the basketball arenas, and what have you. That is not the case for us. For us, the live event is you could almost say that the dressing, it's the icing on the cake, because the game itself is a digital dynamic. Okay, which means we need to take a look at where the money is being generated, and that money is being generated a great deal via the platforms by which we view esports. And that means we need to look at Twitch, we need to look at YouTube gaming, we need to look at Facebook gaming, and in Asia particularly, we need to look at Africa, all right? It's not Africa, it's Africa. And the key word there is free, okay? All right. Now let's look at the video game streaming platform market share. You see a lot of purple. You see a lot of purple because Twitch kicks butt. This is one of those instances where they were first to market and they were able to maintain their market dominance, all right? And they've been very well, even though YouTube and Facebook have been coming after them. So we're looking at what here? We're looking at 72% of the video game streaming platform market share as of Q1 of 2022 owned by Twitch, with YouTube having 12% or 12 to 15%, right? Well, this is Q1 of 2021. This is Q2 of 2022. So take a look. Q1 of 2021, it was 15%. By Q1 of 2022, YouTube's had shrunk by 2% to 13%. All right. The same with Facebook. Facebook went from 11% in Q1 of 2021 to 9% in Q22. In other words, Twitch is holding its own. Africa held on at 3%. Trovo and others are almost like a burp, all right? You don't have to be concerned about them. So the popularity of Twitch and the popularity of these streaming platforms has got to we got to smell money here, right? We got to smell money here. I don't mean to come off like a mafioso, but I am an Italian from Brooklyn. And I'm like, if I was in the mob and they were saying, Don, where's the money in esports? This is what we'd be doing. This is water, by the way. Okay. Now, I keep throwing this in here to show you how, again, the esports athlete is an athlete, all right? This is a genuine sport. This is, and it's funny because in the same way that, with wrestling, wrestling is scripted, but damn, they're athletes, okay? I don't know why I put this slide in here, but forget it. Let's look at the 2020 global games market, because this is going to be very important because it indicates a trend, right? A trend for the future. And that trend for the future is mobile gaming, okay? Mobile gaming. I've showed you this slide before, right? Mobile is 77 billion when you look at tablet, which is considered mobile, smartphones, and it dwarfs PC, browser PC, box games, and even console games. So if we're looking at a trend, the trend that we're looking at is mobile, and we're going to get into that big time in just a minute or two, all right? Meanwhile, though, we've got to talk hardware. We like to boast in the video game industry that our industry is bigger than movies and television combined. And, you feel pretty good saying that, it's like, cock of the walk, cock of the walk there. The one thing we leave out is that you can't enjoy our content unless you buy the hardware. So all of a sudden it's different. When you go to the movies, you don't have to buy the screen. You don't have to buy the barcode projector, which costs, $250,000. You don't have to buy that. That is a sunk cost by the cinema operator. But to play video games, you've got to have either the computer or the console. So let's just focus on consoles. Let's go back to the previous slide, right? Console gaming, $45.2 billion. Nothing to sneeze at, but what are we looking at? 77 billion for smartphones, 45 billion for consoles. Consoles are like a major portion, but they're not the biggest. But take a look at the evolution that we've gone through here, right? This is the estimated lifetime sales of home console units. Now, this doesn't even include PS5, which we're going to be talking about, okay? So what do we see here? Sony PlayStation reigns supreme, with 4 of the top 5 best-selling consoles in history all being PlayStation devices. So Sony has got money in the bank. PS2, PS4, PS3, the original one, then the Wii, which surprised everybody. I mean, that was Nintendo. I mean, when you look at they've eaten the Xbox lunch, right? Then you look at Nintendo, which is always focused on the smaller handheld devices. But you can see here the amount of money that has been spent, because this is just units sold. This isn't like the money they made. This is units sold. So you can see where if you want to play the latest game that's coming out for PlayStation, you got to buy the PlayStation, which is why we are able to say that video gaming has generated more income than television and cinema combined. Okay, now let's look at PS5, right? PS5 is a powerful console offering a sublime current-gen gaming experience. Its library of exclusive games, because again, proprietary means a great deal. It means we own it. Its library of exclusive games makes fantastic use of the DualSense controller, 3D audio, and the console's lightning-fast SSD. Now, what's an SSD? A solid-state drive. What is a solid-state drive? This is a new generation of storage device that is used in computers. SSDs store data using flash-based memory, which is much faster than the traditional hard disks they've come to replace. Okay, this is a major step forward. When we talk about hardware, we're talking about increasingly compression ratios. How much data can we squeeze onto whatever the platform is? If it's lithium, if it's silicon, what is it? Now, the PS5 set some pretty high expectations because of the success of the PS4. And thankfully, this new gen PS5 console has successfully exceeded every expectation and improves upon the PS4 in every possible way. So the PS5 is an evolutionary step in console gamings. In the same way that the new Xbox One, the portable Xbox One, is pretty damn dynamic too. Now, take a look. The PS5 price is $499. In other words, it's $500 in the US, or 480 pounds in the UK, or $780 in Australia. There's also a cheaper version for $400 in the US. So if you are a gamer and you are like salivating over getting the new PS5, the first thing you're going to do is shell out $500 to buy the device. That $500 goes into the pocket of Sony. Now, it still remains to be seen whether or not they're making money from the sale of that device, because hardware is very often called a loss leader. In other words, I'm going to sell this at less than it costs for me to make it because I'm going to make money on you buying the games. The classic example of this is your copy machine. All right, your copy machine, 100% of them are sold as loss leaders. Okay, in other words, you go out to Staples and you buy a copy machine and it's a few $100 and you're like, that's a great deal. They're losing money on that. Where are they making the money? Ink. They're making money on the ink. They're making money on the paper. All right. The ink is where the money is. You go to a movie, right? Remember, you go to a movie. Where does the cinema operator make money? He ain't making money on the movie. If it's a $15 movie, he's lucky if he gets $1. Where's he making money? Popcorn, M&Ms, which is why you suddenly say, I'll have let me have the large popcorn and a Coke, and you're stunned when it's $20. That's because the profit margin is there so they can afford to do this. They're basically, a cinema is a candy store, okay? Now, Sony developed the PlayStation 5 to consume less energy than the PS4 for suspended gameplay states. This is important. The PS5 is promoted as a leap forward for console gaming, highlighting its 4K performance. You know, many of us thought we have reached like a peak in terms of graphics, but nope, we can get even better. It's got 4K performance, very fast load times, and a game-changing controller that makes playing games more immersive and tactile than ever. Now, the PS5 plays nearly all PS4 games, and in many cases allows them to run and load better than ever before. Okay? The PS5 features a unique user interface that's easy to use, it's fast, and connects their games to wider social channels, and its fast, powerful console supports 120 frames per second gaming. That's fast, okay? Now, the secret weapon here is the PS5 controller, because it's what's called dual sense. Now, dual sense is a masterpiece of design, and it alters how games play forever. This is it. The DualSense wireless controller for PS5 offers immersive haptic feedback. Haptics is that next dimension, right? Force feedback, so that when we take an action that actually has some Newtonian physics involved in it, we shoot a gun, there's supposed to be recoil. We're shot, we're supposed to feel that. This is haptic feedback. This DualSense controller is giving us some semblance of haptic feedback. It's got dynamic adaptive triggers and a built-in microphone, all integrated into an iconic design. So you're looking here at the Guilty Gear Strive, a fighting video game developed and published by the Arc System Works. The official PlayStation tournaments for PS5 feature the Guilty Gear Strive. If you're going to play NBA 2K23 and FIFA 23, this is the device you're using. So we not only have an evolution in the hard drive, the console itself, we've got a major evolution in the controller. All right? You got to give Sony credit. You got to give Sony credit, okay? Now, since we're talking about trends in video gaming and esports, we've got to talk about mobile. And in order for us to talk about mobile, we got to talk about 5G. Right? You've heard about 5G. You got the AT&T lady talking about it. You got all the commercials, 5G, 5G, 5G. We need to understand why 5G is a game changer. This is James Yang. He's the director of PUBG Mobile Global Esports for Tencent Games. Tencent Games is the largest game publisher in the world. They're a Chinese company, right? China's the biggest game. Tencent has invested in most American game companies, okay? What does he say? We are seeing the rise of mobile esports, influenced by improved mobile hardware and 5G networks. Since you are the next generation of managers, of leaders, of investors, you need to understand this, okay? All of a sudden, we've got really cool controllers on our cell phones, our smartphones, that are allowing us to play immersive esports and immersive virtual worlds like we've never been able to play them before. What's going on here, okay? What's making all of this possible, okay? Why is it that Google is announcing an Android game SDK? SDK, as you know, stands for Software Development Kit. In other words, what they're saying here, and this is what Hollywood studios learned in the 20th century, was, why am I paying you to sit around and come up with an idea? Go off on your own, come up with an idea, then come and pitch it to me. Google, as well as many other game companies, are saying, you know what? We used to hoard the software development kits. You know, you want to build something on Unity, you got to pay me up front. You want to build something on Unreal Tournament, you got to pay me up front. Now what they're saying is, we've got this backwards, okay? We got this backwards. Here's the platform. Here's the software development kit. Go out there and blow our minds. Go out there and make something supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, okay? So they see the value in your creativity. You need to see the value in your own creativity so that you are making these games that are for smartphones that are going to make you $1 billion, okay? Now, let's take a look at this slide. This is very important. These are trends up until now. This is 2022. Let's look at the various colors. Let's look at red. Red is mobile gaming. What do we see here? From 2014 to 2022, holy mackerel. In 2014, mobile gaming accounted for $30 billion in spending. Last year, it accounted for $136 billion in spending. Does anybody have a question here? Duh. What do we see here in terms of PC Mac gaming? The black, pretty much held steady. What do we see in home consoles? Little bit of a rise. We're going to see more of a rise now because of the PS5, but nowhere near to mobile gaming. And handheld consoles, flat. So if we're looking at business trends, if I'm grandpa, and I'm old enough to be your grandfather, and you're saying, Grandpa, I really want to go into gaming, what should I do? I'm going to say to you, look at your phone, look at your phone, look at your phone. Maybe you should get a software development kit. Maybe you should hook up with some of your colleagues who are really smart programmers, who are really great artists, and come up with the next great game, okay? Now, we're talking about mobile games. Well, what is the top genre? What are people playing? Well, lo and behold, it turns out that Battle Royale is the top mobile game genre on streaming. Now, this is as of March 2022, right? The percent of hours watched genres of the top 10 mobile games for March 2022. Battle Royale is 58.6%. Now, think about it. When we talk Battle Royale, what are we looking at? Fortnite, PUBG, Apex Legends, Call of Duty Mobile, Garena, Free Fire. Free Fire has set the world on fire, primarily in Asia. Creative Destruction, Rules of Survival. Now, when you think about those battle royales, it's really like me against the world, right? Even if that world is 100 people or 1,000 people or 1,000,000 people, it's me against them, which basically means it's ideal for first-person 1vx gaming. Now, what's second in terms of mobile genres of streaming are MOBAs, right? Multiplayer online battle arenas, Arena of Valor, Vainglory, Omayoji Arena, Pokemon, Unite, LOL. And then everything else is minuscule, right? Strategy games, shooters, puzzles, casual. So it's a fascinating thing that the rise of mobile gamings has been an empowerment of the individual to express him or herself or itself, whatever you want to call it, in terms of these battle royales. It's fascinating because when you think about it, you might be on the airplane with 200 other people, but you're playing a battle royale against the world, right? You might be on the subway, you might be on a bus, but it's you identified as yourself playing this particular game. I find it fascinating, totally fascinating. Okay, now this also means development. Development is either going to occur on Unity, okay, Unity game engine, or the Unreal Tournament game engine, or it might be in Linux, which is, you know, a free game engine. Although Unity and Unreal Tournament are basically eating Linux's lunch. All right. What's a great thing about Unity? Cross-platform integration. It is a growing development community, which means there's a lot of patches out there that you can download. and it's got multi-language support. This is how we are building games. And Unity and Unreal, and they're all making it easier for you to develop things. But getting back to mobile games, let's look at Verizon and 5G. What has this 5G thing got to do with anything? Verizon 5G ultra wideband is up to 10 times faster than what you currently have. Think about that, 10 times faster. What does that mean? Well, that means downloads take a fraction of the time, and you can now game with ultra low lag. Ultra low lag. If you're in a battle royale where they're coming after you, it's Hunger Games on steroids, and you're going after them, there can be no lag. Now, with this low latency, 5G ultra wideband offers a smooth gaming experience even when you're doing mobile gaming. So 5G is the 5th generation of wireless networking technology. What is its benefit? It offers much faster speeds and lower latency than its predecessors. And all of this means that mobile gamers will be able to enjoy a smoother and more responsive gaming experience no matter where they are. That is why you find in the infrastructure bill that Congress passed, along with a tremendous amount of pork, the idea that the US wants to become like South Korea, where South Korea is, the whole nation has got ultra high speed Wi-Fi. Wow, hooray for South Korea. Remember, South Korea is the size of Indiana, okay? If we were just focused on Indiana, we could do this. We're focusing on a continent, all right? So making sure that you can be playing Apex Legends while you're sitting in the Grand Canyon, that's a different kettle of fish. But thanks to Elon Musk and his satellite network and Verizon and AT&T and all that, we're getting closer to that, okay? Now, who are the key players in the 5G ecosystem? In other words, these are the companies involved in delivering 5G technology to end consumers. So if I was your stock advisor, and you wanted to invest, I would say, take a look at these companies. All right, take a look at them. All right, cloud services. Cloud services is very much what we're going to be talking about in a minute, software as a service. You got Amazon, web services, Google Cloud, Tencent Cloud. This is very, very important. You then have the CDN providers. You got the 5G infrastructure and vendors. All of these companies here, everything you see here is what is necessary to do the 5G. And of course, you've got to have the companies that are making the phones that are able to tap into the 5G that these mobile carriers are making, but which these cloud services are servicing. Okay. 5G and cloud gaming. Very important, all right? Mobile gaming and 5G, anywhere, anytime gaming leads the show and will dominate when 5G rolls out in earnest. So if I'm telling you where to bet, I'm going to say you want to look at where 5G is and those games that are ready for 5G. You're going to look at a lot of battle royale games, okay? Now, for real-time multiplayer gamer using smartphones, 5G is a better experience than public Wi-Fi, okay? Public Wi-Fi is still not 5G. And this is, I'm getting into the weeds here, right? 5G mmWave is an innovative cellular technology. What does it do? That provides access to the large bandwidth and capacity available in the frequency band above 24 gigahertz. So there's traditional 5G, but then there's 5G millimeter wave. And you can see here where public Wi-Fi might be giving you 4G, or say they're doing 5G, but you want ultra 5G because that's when you are really getting no lag whatsoever, okay? And this is the difference here. This is 5G sub 6 gigahertz, but this is 5G millimeter wave, which is above 24 gigahertz, and this is kicking butt, all right? This is kicking butt. This is what is going to make mobile gaming the winner. And all of the smartphones that are coming out now are able to handle this, okay? Now, where is this occurring? What are the top 10 5G countries in terms of experience, okay? The 5G video experience, well, United Arab Emirates, it's a small country. It's a small, very rich country, right? Followed by Taiwan, Thailand, Netherlands, Singapore. We don't even show up there. Now, the 5G games experience, Netherlands leads, South Korea second, Ireland, Canada, Australia. You can see that. 5G voice app, we don't really need to be concerned with that. But you can see where 5G is giving us enhanced video. I want to watch a movie. 5G game, I want to play a game. 5G voice app, I want to, talk to people, okay? Now, people are already taking advantage of this. The biggest franchised mobile esports league in the world is King Pro League, KPL. KPL is only open to Chinese teams and is played with Honor of Kings. Now, for those of you who are unaware, because I'm sure many of you, just like me, was like, okay, Honor of Kings, tell me more. The Arena of Valor is the globalized version of this Battle Royale title. Now, Honor of Kings is one of the most played video games around the world, primarily in China, primarily in Asia, okay? So you can see where, very smart, they realized this technological innovation and they were ready with a video game that was designed specifically for this. That's an example of what we call global, okay? Global. Global is an adjective of or relating to the interconnection of global and local issues, factors, etc. For example, a global conference on community development or relating to the tailoring of globally available products and service to local markets, a global sales strategy. One thing you will find in the Honor of Kings is it's very much tied into Chinese mythology, Chinese history, Chinese lore, and Chinese history is a hell of a lot more exciting than the current Chinese politics. All right. Say what you will about the emperors and the dragon throne and all that. It's a hell of a lot more exciting and colorful than the Communist Party, which is absolutely boring. Okay. Now, companies can't expect to replicate their success in Western markets with a rinse and repeat of existing strategies for new geographies. In other words, Arena of Valor ain't going to be all that exciting to Americans. We don't know squat about Chinese history and all that. And my daughter's dog just entered the room. Phineas, Grandpa is recording. We can't go out for a walk. We'll play later. I'm teaching right now. Okay. Now, different aspects of the game. Stop it. Different aspects of the game have to be tailored for local playing conditions, as though the game was built from the ground up for that market. In other words, we need to customize the game for that particular target demographic and audience, which means globalization requires localization. The internet allows people to build communities through gaming forums and groups, exposing far larger populations to a wider variety of video games. In other words, companies that want to access and profit from the fast-growing gaming consumer base, they need to be prepared to provide instruction, support, and moderation to teams in multiple languages. In the same way that the US, for all intents and purposes, has become a bilingual nation, right? English and Spanish. In the same way that South America is increasingly Portuguese and Spanish. In the same way that all of Europe is indigenous language and English. This is something that we've got to be prepared for. So now let's take a look at Switch, okay? Top 10 model share of global smart, I don't know why I threw Switch in there, of April 2022. Apple is winning, all right? I got an Apple phone. You probably have an Apple phone. They are by all means winning. The cool thing is when we talk about mobile smartphone gaming, it's available to every one of these smartphone markets, okay? But this is important. Global mobile handset operating profit share trends. Notice who's number one, Apple. The one thing Apple has done that the other smartphone manufacturers have not done is have a tremendous built-in profit from the sale of their phones. Now, the COVID issue in China has resulted in some negative there. There's been a slow delivery, slow development of the what are we on to, smartphone 14 or what have you. But Apple makes a tremendous profit from its smartphones, unlike Samsung, Huawei, Oppo, Vivo, and others. Okay? Despite all of this, PC gaming remains one of the most popular forms of video gaming. Now, the PC hardware alone is said to be worth about $70 billion by 2023, showing that many are still heavily invested in having the best possible hardware. I'm working with a number of universities, and when we build a PC bong, PC room, it's got PCs in it, right? That's why it's called a PC bong. Now, despite the influx of impressive and affordable consoles over the years, PC gaming has remained a favorite for many. It's still the most popular platform from game developers, with 56% developing games for the platform in 2020. The market is set to reach this year $39.5 billion. There's a lot of money in PCs, okay? So even though smartphone games are taking 45% of the market and console games 28% of the market, downloadable PC games still are 19%, with tablet at 6%. No matter which one of these segments you're in, there's a tremendous amount of money to be made, okay? Which means, what is driving these PCs? What are the brains of these PCs? And that comes down to the graphic processing unit for the most part. And when we take a look at the GPUs, we're looking at basically three companies: AMD, Intel, and NVIDIA. And we can see here that they're not even. AMD's got 27% of the market, Intel 20%, NVIDIA 18%. But the graphic processing unit is the thing that's giving us the incredible colors, that's able to take the 4K digitization and explode it into our eyes. So this is definitely something that you need to be aware of when you're buying a PC. What is the graphic processing unit? What's the core card that's in it? Now, we got 7 weeks to talk about a giant industry, right? I want to transition now to coaching and gaming. Why? Because what do gamers do when they're no longer able to game? When they've reached the ripe old age of 25 and their thumbs, they've got carpal tunnel and all that. Well, what about coaching? Let's look at pay. As of December 2022, in other words, last year, the average annual pay for an esports coach in the US is $43,176 a year. Kind of a weird figure. Just in case you need a simple salary calculator, that works out to approximately $20.76 an hour, or $830 a week, or $3,598 a month. This is very difficult to live on, which is why most esports coaches don't just earn a living from coaching. They're either streaming, they're either consulting, they're either still playing, or something along those lines. But I think it's very important that we be honest about where the money is in esports. Okay. Now, I put this in here because this is a gamer who's selling himself as a coach. Do you need a professional Valorant coach? Why, get better playing your way. I have 7 years of experience in sports and esports education, and I'm fixing round by round to climb step by step. So we are promoting ourselves. You're going to have to promote yourselves if this is what you want to do. Most watched esports tournaments 2021, the World Championship, International, all right, the MPL. So we're seeing that the interest is still there, okay? And the most popular esports game publishers Valve, CSGO, and Dota doing fantastic. Riot Games with LOL and Valorant. Blizzard with Overwatch, Hearthstone, StarCraft. EA with FIFA, at least up until this year, with Madden, Apex Legends. Take-Two with NBA 2K, Activision, Call of Duty. Epic Games with Fortnite, Tencent Games, Arena of Valor. All of these are things where I'm assuming you're there saying, where do I want to find myself? Where do I want to go? Which one of these companies do I want to work for? Most expensive esports tournament organizers. All right, ESL Faceit Group. Now, these are esports tournament organizers. Okay, organizers need individuals with multiple skills. This is everything from travel, from accounting, from player management, from hospitality, for F&B, food and beverage. These are companies that you may possibly connect with. PGL, Blast, KESPA, which is the Korean Esports Association, Epic. These are opportunities for you. Now what I want to do is switch to Twitchonomics. Okay? You could still make a boatload of money as a streamer. You can make a boatload of money as a streamer. Again, this is all under the heading of stakeholders. These are all the stakeholders in the esports industry. You look at the Greg FG, who's made close to $1 million as a streamer, right? The world's top 50 most subscribed Twitch streamers earned a combined $11 million through streaming and YouTube during the lockdown. So these are individuals who have made a tremendous amount of money, either from Twitch earnings and YouTube earnings, or primarily from here for Greg FG, primarily YouTube earnings with a little bit more from Twitch. So you can see on this list how the streamer is benefiting from the multiple platforms that are available there. So streaming remains a means of acquiring wealth. And the great thing about streaming is it is a democratization of gaming. You can see here that streamers who are famous, who are generating tremendous income, are from all over the world. And this doesn't even include Asia, because they have their own streaming networks that the accounting is done on. This is just Twitch streamers around the world. So you'll see Twitch is alive and well in North America, South America, Europe, and the battle for Africa is occurring. Asia is a different animal we could get into. So how do you earn money? Streamers earn money on Twitch through a variety of means. One is through crowd-funded subscriptions. Another big one is viewer donations and an indigenous currency called Twitch Bits. Twitch Bits are really another form of viewer donation. What is crowdfunding? Crowdfunding is a way to raise money from a large number of people. What does that mean? That means large groups of people pool together small individual investments to provide the capital needed to get a company, a project, or you off the ground. Okay. Phineas, what are you doing? Okay. Individuals, charities, or companies can create a campaign for a specific cause to which anyone can contribute. Now, they also make money, streamers also make money from ads, brand sponsorships, affiliate marketing, merchandise, and game sales. In other words, turning the individual into a corporation. Okay. How do I give you money? If you're on Twitch, how do I give you money? Well, I can buy a channel subscription. Hey, it's fast, easy, and secure. Don't hesitate to contact Purchase Support if you need help. I can pay by American Express, Discover, MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, you name it. I can even use gift cards to pay you. It's brilliant. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. Now, put those gift cards that grandma gave you to use by subscribing to your favorite streamer. You take these, we take these and more. Just click show more methods on the payment information switch. So even though your mind is probably being blown right now, but if grandma or Uncle Don gave you a Dollar General card and you're like, I'm not going to Dollar General, but I really love Don the gamer, you can donate your Dollar General card to me as a form of payment. I'll take it. I'll take your Walmart card. I'll take your 7-Eleven card. I'll take any form of money you can get. Forget Bitcoin. We can do gift cards. This is brilliant. I mean, this is absolutely brilliant. Now, let's talk hard dollars, right? The typical expert streamer makes between $3,000 and $5,000 per month by playing 40 hours per week. What does that mean? That means streaming is your job. It's your job. 40 hours per week. Now, the more average streamers will make roughly $250 in advertising revenue per 100 subscribers, or $350 per 1,000 views. But to start earning money on Twitch, you need roughly 500 regular viewers. That's where when you become a streamer, you're like, please subscribe to me. You know, ex-girlfriends, boyfriends, mom, dad, people you've never met, a connection you've made from ancestry.com, all of that stuff, because you need to build up your viewership numbers. Now, big news, not necessarily good news, is that Twitch is reducing the top streamer revenue share. What had been 70-30, in other words, you got 70, Twitch got 30, it's now becoming 50-50. 50-50 signals that the platform is no longer the creator-first entity that made it so popular. In other words, Twitch became very popular because you got the most money. We're just a platform. You're the one streaming content. You get 70%. Now Twitch is like, oh, who are we kidding here? If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't have any viewers. So now, you know what? You're going to only get 50%. We get 50. That's right. We're partners in this thing. Okay. Now, these changes are going to be implemented after June of 2023, but only when a given streamer's contract comes up for renewal. In other words, there might be what's called grandfathering. Grandfathering would be if you have a contract that stipulates you get a 70-30 split through 2023, maybe into 2024. If you're not grandfathered as of June 2023, it's 50-50. So you can see the terms are changing. This happens all the time. It's like with your credit card, right? Your credit card, it began, if you don't pay off the balance, it's 50% interest, 15% interest. Then all of a sudden you get a notice in the mail, it's now 17% interest. And then the interest rates go up and it's now 20% interest, which is why you should pay off your credit card every month, okay? Grandpa's telling you that. Now, when do you get your money? Twitch's standard payout period is net 15. What does that mean? What's a net? At the end of each calendar month, there is a check to see if your account balance since your last payout is $100 or more. $100 is the threshold. If it is $100 or more, a payment would be scheduled for 15 days after the end of that month for the current account balance. Got it? All right. I only made $95. You're not getting a payment. That's going to roll over to the next month. Hopefully you're going to get over $100 and then you'll get more money. Now, how am I getting this payment? Well, there's what's called the wallet. All right. There's the Twitch wallet. And you can see here that these are individual streamers and they got their money from PayPal. I just published a novel. Okay. You don't have to buy it. If you buy it, I'd be happy, but it ain't going to affect your grade. It's called Running at Hialeah. It's got great reviews. It's a fictional account. It's a pseudo-autobiography. I'm working on the movie rights here. Cross your fingers. And at every quarter, my publisher says, hey, Don, you're getting X amount of dollars in royalties. Yay! What's happening is Amazon, which is where it's being sold, right? Running at Hialeah on Amazon, Don Marinelli. they're sending their balance after they take their cut. All right. They're sending their money to my publisher, which is Atmosphere Press. Atmosphere Press is then giving my cut to PayPal. I've got a deal with PayPal that says, okay, here's my bank account. I need you to make a direct deposit of that royalty payment into my checking account. Voila. All right. If I'm willing to wait 3 to 5 days, that payment is done for free. Phineas, what are you doing? He's where my toy trains are. I got to watch this guy. If I want it instantly, I got to pay like $1.50 for the transfer. Got it? I can wait 3 days. So, okay. A variety of ways that you get your money from Twitch or from YouTube. One is called ACH. This deposits your payout directly into your bank account within 1 to 4 days. It's available for U.S. residents only. Remember that Twitch map I showed you where they're all over the world? Well, if you're not a U.S. resident, you're not getting ACH. There's also local bank payout method, or e-check. This is a new convenient method for non-U.S. affiliates. The payout is converted from U.S. dollars to the local currency for a fee. It's like when you go to the airport and you exchange money into the currency of the country you're going to go visit. They take a cut, right? The exchange rate is similar to that charged by an ATM. The payout takes 1 to 2 days. The other option is PayPal, okay, which we just talked about. There's also a traditional check. I remember when checks were the thing, right? This traditional method usually takes the longest to reach you and relies upon the postal service. Or there's wire transfer. This usually incurs an extra fee by your bank, more so for international wire transfers, and it might trigger other charges too. It also triggers something else, and that's called the tax people. So that when I work overseas and they send me money on a wire transfer, I sort of swallow hard, gulp, because that means the IRS has been made aware of the money that I made overseas, and I better report it because they already have a record of it. So, highest paid Twitch streamers in the world, you can see here who's made $800,000, who's made $1 million, who made 1.2 million, who's made upwards of 1.8 million, who's made close to $2 million. And their money has come in through a variety of these ways. Okay, I mentioned Twitch bits. Twitch bits are essentially a virtual currency. Probably the best example for you is when you go to Disney World and you can buy Disney dollars. All right, it's a 1-to-1 exchange rate. $5 of the US is equal to $5 Disney. You know, why is that? Because many times you don't spend the $5 with Donald Duck's face on it. That's like a souvenir. And Disney's there going, thank you very much. You just gave me $5. Okay. You gave me $5 for a piece of paper with Donald Duck's picture on it. Okay. Twitch bits are an alternative way viewers can financially support creators and streamers. Now, while viewers can support their favorite streamers through tiered subscriptions, Twitch Prime subscriptions or real money donations, bits are cheered rather than donated. Okay. Now, when you're really popular on Twitch, you can we have either non-partnered Twitch channels versus affiliated channels. Now, the Twitch affiliate program offers individuals the ability to earn revenue while streaming. A Twitch partner receives many perks, including extra emotes, got to have those extra emotes, 60 days of past broadcast storage, dedicated financial support, and the ability for fans to subscribe to their channels. So you want to become a Twitch partner, right? Twitch partners earn money just like affiliates do, but they also get a lot of other added bonuses alongside the money, which can improve the quality of content or quality of engagement with their audience. Additionally, Twitch partners also unlock the ability to receive revenue from Twitch ads. Okay. Now, how do you become a Twitch affiliate? Okay. That's the low level. You need at least 500 total minutes of broadcast in the last 30 days. You need to have at least 7 unique broadcast days in the last 30 days. And you need to have an average of 3 concurrent viewers or more over the last 30 days with at least 50 followers. Those are your minimums. When you achieve those minimums, you can become a Twitch affiliate, which means you're able to earn money. However, what you really want is become a Twitch partner. To become a Twitch partner, these are the main requirements. You need to stream for 25 hours in the last 30 days. You need to stream for 12 unique days in the last 30 days, and you need to reach 75 average viewers in the last 30 days. And here's an example of how the affiliate program works, right? The lowest level. So I'm not going to go through this. It's here for you, but it shows you how the mindset of Twitch is watch you play video games, but we want you to click on the ads or the links that are going to be embedded in that stream. Okay? Because as you click on them, that's going to accrue value to you. Okay? Now, we talked about Twitch. Let's talk about YouTube. YouTube income is generated by advertisements through AdSense, which is unique to YouTube, sponsorships, popular brands, and affiliate links. You can already see it very much a copying with Twitch. YouTube pays you only after a person has earned $100 or more. This is my daughter's dog. Do you see Phineas here? Do you see Phineas here? Phineas does not like pillows. You see? He does not like pillows. So all the pillows must be thrown off Grandpa's couch so Phineas can be resting comfortably. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? Grandpa's still teaching, so just be there, be quiet. We'll go out afterwards, okay? Very good, very good. Okay. Online has got a whole set of issues affiliated with it. Now, YouTube pays you only after a person has earned $100 or more from placing ads on that person's channel or videos. Reminiscence of Twitch, right? Reminiscence of Twitch. Payment for ads is based on the number of clicks on these ads. Very important. Therefore, there is no direct correlation between YouTube payment and likes or views. They can like you, they can view you, but until they click on the ad, that doesn't count. Now, videos made available on YouTube Premium, the site's ad-free subscription service, they earn a portion of the revenue based on how much members view their videos. Now, the first major reason is the financial security that YouTube provides. What do we mean by that? By paying streamers a certain amount of money to be on their platform exclusively, it ensures that streamers won't have to worry about how many donations or subs they earned in a month. This is talking about stealing streamers, all right? YouTube is attempting to eat a portion of Twitch revenue. Where's Twitch revenue coming from? It's coming from streamers. So what is YouTube doing? YouTube is trying to make Twitch streamers an offer they can't refuse. And they're saying, come over to YouTube and I'm going to guarantee you a certain amount of money each month. In other words, you don't need to worry about donations or subs or click-throughs. I just want you on the site. And I believe that you are so popular and that so many people are going to view your stream that I'm going to make the money from the clicks and the ads and all that, even after I pay you. This is how it works. This is how it works, which is why streamers have become influencers. All right. Influencer is a job that didn't exist when I was young. All right. It has grown so much that now you can find online who are the top 20 esports influencers that you should know. Now, who's you? You is a company that wants to get my brand in front of the eyeballs of Generation Z. You. okay? So you take a look at top streamers like Shroud and Ninja. Now, this is 2019, and the hours watched, all right? How many hours were watched on Twitch for Shroud, and how many were on Mixer? Because Mixer tried to get both of them away from Twitch. But what we see here is that it ain't working. Mixer, of course, died. That was Microsoft's version. It died. They realized they can't compete. They threw in the towel. But you can see here the amount of hours that are watched, why an upstart streaming company like Mixer or YouTube or Facebook would try to steal a streamer away from Twitch. The thing we've got through digital media is tremendous data analytics. So any Twitch streamer or any streamer itself can have my analytics that says, how many followers do I have on Twitch? How many total views am I getting on Twitch? What's my average views on Twitch? How many followers on Twitter? How many impressions on Twitter? How many average links in the evening by Twitter? How many Instagram followers do I have? How many subscribers on YouTube? How many members on Discord? How many on TikTok? It's science, buddy. It's science. Now, Twitch offers a variety of options for more traditional advertising on the platform. So both video and banner ads are available in an array of placements throughout the site, thus allowing your brand to pinpoint exactly what users you want for your target audience. This becomes very important for data and influencers because you've used the viewing data to identify current influencers or rising stars. You're able to match the desired brand voice with the personalities of the influencers because they all have distinct personalities. You're able to build relationships with streamers and their communities. And this is where Discord comes into being. Discord is another one of those mind-blowing operations that has cropped up. I mean, in my lifetime, it became from you're using Discord. What's Discord? To the fact that it's worth multiple billions of dollars. So let's analyze it a bit. It was launched in 2015, which is yesterday. Discord has quickly become one of the top places for video game players to gather and communicate online, and it is exploding. Discord counts more than 140 million monthly active users, which is up from just 56 million at the end of 2019. Now, the company also has 19 million weekly active servers. What are servers? Those are communities that contain multiple chat, voice, and video channels, very much like Reddit. Discord offers some advanced features that make these servers more akin to online communities than simple chat rooms. These include real-time audio and videos conversations. Think back to 5G and how 5G is facilitating this. Customized emojis and custom roles that distinguish users. Now, what is Discord? Discord is an example of SaaS product. Discord is a software as a service product. It is a communication platform where users can create servers with text, voice, and video channels. We need to delve a little bit more deeply into SaaS. Software as a service is referring to any cloud-based software delivery model in which the cloud provider develops and maintains a cloud application software that provides automatic software updates and makes software available to its customers via the internet on a pay-as-you-go basis. Even if it's free at first, there will be a pay-as-you-go upcharge in terms of accessing services. The best example of this is Amazon Web Service. Amazon Web Service is a comprehensive, evolving cloud computing platform that's provided by Amazon that includes a mixture of infrastructure as a service, IaaS, platform as a service, PaaS, and packaged software as a service, SaaS offerings. Who owns Twitch? Amazon. Amazon owns Twitch. You see the connection here? This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. So The great thing about these services is that we get tremendous data. And so Discord statistics are available all the time. Now, though Discord has typically been associated with online gamers, there's a growing number of users who are building Discord communities focused on other interests. This is Reddit on steroids, all right? And Reddit is shaking in its boots over what Discord is doing. Now, among Discord users, 70% of them say they use Discord for gaming and other purposes. That's up from 30% in early 2020, according to a company spokesman. Now, non-gaming servers include those focused on what? TV shows, geographical regions, sports, memes, dating, and investing. Discord has introduced a feature called Stage Channels to help users organize and manage audio events. Now, that feature comes as a competition to Clubhouse, an audio chat app, and Twitter Spaces, which is the feature for live conversations. So you can already see here, Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Reddit are all now competing for you, okay? The company stated that with the Stage Channels feature, users can have a conversation with select listeners. The feature makes it easier to understand who is the one waiting for their turn to speak and who is the focus of attention in the conversation. Very important. When you've got this many people that want to be part of the conversation, you've got to pay attention to them. As Willie Loman in the great play Death of a Salesman, as his wife says, attention must be paid. We cannot disregard these people. We must give them a voice. Now, Discord generated $130 million in revenue in 2020. This is according to the Wall Street Journal, a 188% increase year on year. Now, where does this money come from? Because it's free. Well, almost all of Discord's revenue comes from Nitro. Nitro is its premium enhancement bundle. Now, Discord has over 140 million active users and 300 million registered accounts. In 2021, Discord was valued at $7 billion, which doubled its value in under a year. Hold on to your seats. Discord was most recently valued at $15 billion in 2021, last year, over double the price of last year's valuation. Who doubles in price over 1 year? This is unheard of. Why did this happen? Well, Discord brings in the best of both worlds, with servers that allow you to chat and voice channels that allow you to speak to each other. Gaming communities and friends are starting to ditch Skype and TeamSpeak and move into Discord. Why? Because it is safer and integrated, which is why rumor in the street, and when I say the street, I mean Wall Street, is that Microsoft is wanting to buy Discord. Okay. Now, Microsoft buying Discord, well, with Microsoft buying Activision and Blizzard, is going to trigger the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, to say, Microsoft, you want to become a monopoly here. We got problems with this. But you can see here how this software as a service is so important, right? Discord has held talks with Microsoft for a transaction that could top $10 billion. This is from insiders. These talks were preliminary and no deal is imminent, said the people who declined to be identified because the discussions are confidential. Notice how they're confidential, but we're getting the word, right? The talks have taken place as video gaming has boomed in the pandemic and as Microsoft has bolstered its gaming business via a variety of mergers and acquisitions. Although I will point out that the acquisition of Activision Blizzard is on hold because of monopolistic concerns by the SEC. Now, many of Microsoft's acquisitions in recent years have focused on online gaming communities. Notice it purchased LinkedIn, it purchased GitHub, and the gaming developer that developed Minecraft. In September, Microsoft also bought ZeniMax Media, a parent company of several large gaming studios, for $7.5 billion. What this is saying is Microsoft realizes that it does not have the internal talent to do this. So what are we going to do? We got loads of cash. We're going to go out and buy the talent. This is common. When you're starting an independent gaming studio, ultimately, I'm going to say you want to be bought out by one of the others. You want to be bought out by Epic and be on their Steam platform. Okay. Now, Twitch is very smart and is now integrating a variety of these platforms in it. So Twitch and Discord is like, do we need to fight ourselves here? Why can't we make an accommodation? So now Discord and Twitch are discussing how to get closer together in bed. So unlike most social consumer apps, Discord does not make money from ads. The startup makes money through Nitro, which is a service Discord sells for $9.99 a month or $99.99 a year that gives users additional features such as animated emoji and high-resolution video. So you think about all the users that we talked about for Discord, you multiply that by $100 a year, you see where the money's coming in. Now, money from tournaments, okay? Now, you see Free Fire is taking the world by storm. Free Fire is the top of the tournament pyramid here with $5 million plus. Frankly, I don't quite know where they get that, because the second Free Fire World Series was held last year in Thailand, featured 17 teams from around the world competing for a prize of $2 million. Here, they're estimating that Free Fire is going to have a prize pool of $5 million. Now, Free Fire, which was created by Garena, is a battle royale game developed and published by Garena for Android phone, right? Phone, got it, and iOS. As of 2021, Free Fire had surpassed 150 million daily active users. Go back to what we talked about earlier, right? Smartphone gaming, 5G, mobile gaming, esports on your phone. This is where it's happening. And we're seeing that with, LOL is trying to get in on it, right? PUBG, right? Valorant. You can see here, this is a pyramid of gaming with various tournaments involved. The money is there, folks. Now, the money is not equal with tournaments. So what's happening is we're seeing a condensing. We're seeing a condensing of tournament tiers, because competitions occur in tiers. Riot Games, which produces a great deal of tournaments, has gone from 4 tiers to basically 3 tiers. We've got small tournaments. These are participant driven. They are non-produced small events. The organizers are players, are PC bongs, PC cafes, community organizers. The prize pool does not exceed $10,000 or its equivalent, or $12 million in non-cash prizes, right? It's a local event, no international play. Why are we doing this? For fun. We're organized. We want social play. What's Riot's contribution? There's no intellectual property. Riot is saying, go forth, play these games, have fun. But then if you want to do a medium-sized tournament, we need to talk. This is middle-tier businesses and brands, esports organizations, and influencers. Now, the prize pool does not exceed $50,000. No guaranteed implications in the Valorant global esports ecosystem. The goal is to seeking to monetize and or grow a brand or business. Riot's contribution will vary based on the agreement with the regional team. Or you want to have a major tournament. This is a major esport event organizers. It could be ESL, Esports League, DreamHack, OGN in Korea. It could be an official semi-pro. It could be part of the global competitive ecosystem. What is the goal? We want to make money. We're seeking to monetize and or grow a brand or business, and it's contributing to the Valorant global esports system. Riot's contribution will vary based on the agreement with the global team. So the higher we get in the prize pool, the higher we get in the desire to make money from this, the more involved Riot's going to guest so that they can get their share of the pie. Okay. So here we have tier 3, tier 2, tier 1, which is basically delineating what I just said. Okay. All right. So all of this again comes down to the stakeholders, those individuals that are in esports for a variety of reasons. It can be everything from I enjoy these games, I'm motivated, I love to play them, to it could be that the game developer is wants to find out what I need to do to make the game even better. The community that wants to play this game and maybe is coming up with mods, and the dynamic esports industry, which is motivated to create regional and national and international. This is all part of the community enabling. For example, here, this is Raleigh, North Carolina. You have what's called the Triangle in Raleigh, which is the high-tech section, Raleigh, Duke University, and all that. They want to appeal to the gamers in that community, and they've created their own PC tournament facility there in Raleigh. Okay. Valorant has done a fantastic job of community organizing so that Valorant players find more and more ways in which they can play amateur and pro, the game that they've come to love. And here you can see a host of community organized tournaments, everything from the United Kingdom Esports Association, which is really quite incredible. But remember, the United Kingdom is the size of Pennsylvania, believe it or not. The entire United Kingdom of England, Scotland, Wales is basically the size of Pennsylvania. When they're like, oh, I'm driving to Edinburgh, it's me driving from Pittsburgh to Pennsylvania, to Philadelphia, okay? You've got the Amateur Esports League, which is creating all manner of tournaments. The Athena Alliance, which is all about women in esports. You got the Amateur Esports League. Georgia got its own Georgia Esports League. We're finding more and more of this happening. Ohio's got a great esports league. Here in Pennsylvania, we have the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Esports Association, which is for high schools. We're just developing one for colleges, which I'm heading up with this PC facility we're building in Pittsburgh. So community organizing is very indigenous to North America. And it is being spurred on by various governance organizations like the North American Esports Collegiate Esports Association, which is NACE. You've also got the Varsity Esports Foundation. You've got the High School Esports League, the National Junior College Athletic Association, and the K through 12 esports providers, which is done very much for the North American Esports Scholastic Federation. So all of these organizations are promoting esports. So that is our lesson on the various stakeholders in esports, which are varied, which are wide, and which are all opportunities for all of you. So I know this was a lot. I mean, hopefully, if you got through the whole thing, more power to you. Or if anything, maybe you said, you know what, I can only take Don in like 20-minute segments. That's fine. But I'm doing a Vulcan mind melt here on business models in esports and trends. And in 7 weeks to do it is asking a lot. But hey, here it is. Thank you all. And I look forward to getting your assignments. That should be a lot of fun. Okay, stop share and